Welcome to our channel. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. By three methods, we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential, these are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Never give a sword to a man who can't dance. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure. It is easy to hate, and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. He who learns but does not think is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. Humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. If you think in terms of a year, plant a seed. If in terms of 10 years, plant trees. If in terms of 100 years, teach the people. Heaven means to be one with God. The strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. Old age, believe me, is a good and pleasant thing. It is true you are gently shouldered off the stage, but then you are given such a comfortable front stall, as spectator. What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. The cautious seldom err. To be wronged is nothing, unless you continue to remember it. Study the past, if you would divine the future. If you look into your own heart, and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. If I am walking with two other men, each of them will serve as my teacher. I will pick out the good points of the one and imitate them, and the bad points of the other, and correct them in myself. Without feelings of respect, what is there to distinguish men from beasts? We should feel sorrow, but not sink under its oppression. I want you to be everything that's you, deep at the center of your being. To see what is right, and not to do it, is want of courage, or of principle. They must often change, who would be constant in happiness, or wisdom. It is more shameful to distrust our friends, than to be deceived by them. A gentleman would be ashamed should his deeds not match his words. To see the right and not to do it is cowardice. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. An oppressive government is more to be feared than a tiger. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. If we don't know life, how can we know death? You cannot open a book without learning something. A youth, when at home, should be filial and abroad respectful to his elders. He should be earnest and truthful. He should overflow in love to all and cultivate the friendship of the good. When he has time and opportunity, after the performance of these things, he should employ them in polite studies. The expectations of life depend upon diligence. The mechanic that would perfect his work must first sharpen his tools. The superior man thinks always of virtue, the common man thinks of comfort. Death and life have their determined appointments, riches and honors depend upon heaven. Learning without thought is labor lost, thought without learning is perilous. To practice 5 things, under all circumstances, constitutes perfect virtue. These 5 are gravity, generosity of soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. To see and listen to the wicked is already the beginning of wickedness. Wisdom, compassion, and courage are the 3 universally recognized moral qualities of man. Faced with what is right, to leave it undone shows a lack of courage. The object of the superior man is truth. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Ability will never catch up with the demand for it. When you know a thing, to hold that you know it, and when you do not know a thing, to allow that you do not know it, this is knowledge. Virtue is not left to stand alone. He who practices it will have neighbors. The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his action. Look at the means which a man employs, consider his motives, observe his pleasures. A man simply cannot conceal himself. He who speaks without modesty will find it difficult to make his words good. The superior man is distressed by the limitations of his ability. He is not distressed by the fact that men do not recognize the ability that he has. If some years were added to my life, I would give 50 to the study of the E, and then I might come to be without great faults. The firm, the enduring, the simple, and the modest are near to virtue. When we see persons of worth, we should think of equaling them. When we see persons of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. When you are laboring for others, let it be with the same zeal as if it were for yourself. The book salesman should be honored because he brings to our attention, as a rule, the very books we need most and neglect most. To those whose talents are above mediocrity, the highest subjects may be announced. To those who are below mediocrity, the highest subjects may not be announced. The superior man does not, even for the space of a single meal, act contrary to virtue. In moments of haste, he cleaves to it. In seasons of danger, he cleaves to it. Go before the people with your example, and be laborious in their affairs. The superior man makes the difficulty to be overcome his first interest. Success only comes later. Look not at what is contrary to propriety. Listen not to what is contrary to propriety. Speak not what is contrary to propriety. Make no movement which is contrary to propriety. Instead of being concerned that you have no office, be concerned to think how you may fit yourself for office. Instead of being concerned that you are not known, seek to be worthy of being known. The faults of a superior person are like the sun and moon. They have their faults, and everyone sees them. They change, and everyone looks up to them. I am not one who was born in the possession of knowledge. I am one who is fond of antiquity, and earnest in seeking it there. He who acts with a constant view to his own advantage will be much murmured against. Speak the truth, do not yield to anger. Give, if thou art asked for little. By these 3 steps, thou wilt go near the gods. Never contract friendship with a man that is not better than thyself. Thanks for watching. Which quote did you enjoy the most? Please share your opinion in the comments and don't forget to subscribe.